Afternoon. Thank you for. We are gathered on the traditional territory of the signatories of Treaty 6 and 7, and I acknowledge the Métis people who share a deep connection with this land. My name is Michelle Baer, and I'm the NDP candidate for Red Deer South. I'm joined here today by my fellow candidate for Red Deer, Jaelene Tweedle, and Jody Pitt, among Red Deer Polytechnic. We're also joined here today by Eggen, Alberta NDP for Edmonton-North West, Alberta NDP Caucus Advanced Education Critic. Over the past 4 years, we have seen the severe damage the UCP has done to post-secondary schools and hardship onto students and families. The government removed the tuition cap. At the same time, they cut almost $1 billion out of schools' budgets, including a 6.4% cut to the operating budget of Red Deer Polytech this year alone. And the result, of course, is fewer staff, fewer programs, and tuition costs that have skyrocketed. Alberta students have seen tuition increases of more than 30%, plus a 20% hike to mandatory fees. These tuition spikes have made life more expensive for students and their families during the worst cost of living crisis in the last 40 years. Now, they're promising to cap tuition hikes at 2%. But just like the car insurance and the electricity, it's a fake. It won't come into until next year, after the election. And for some Albertans, Danielle Smith and the UCP have pushed post-secondary education out of reach altogether. So to share her story, I would like to pass things over to Jody Pitcher.
Thank you, Michelle. My name is Jody. I've been volunteering with Michelle since this past summer. The list of reasons why I'm volunteering is very long, but an equal opportunity to access post-secondary education is top of my list. At what was the RDC 2019 when the UCP made dramatic cuts to secondary. As a result of my colloquial program was cancelled. It is thanks to the hard work of the staff at the college that they were able to fast-track the process of it becoming Red. Also, because now paying for a course in 20 first provinces in the country, and students trying to advance their education and better their careers shouldn't be struggling this much. We need accessible classrooms that open doors when we have affordable tuition and properly funded schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Post-secondary education is the key to unlocking a better life. Whether you're a young person starting a career or looking to advance or change careers, post-secondary provides that opportunity to increase your income and pursue your dreams. The doors to our universities and colleges and trade schools must be open to anyone and everyone, regardless of how much money you have and whether you're on a lottery to get you there. But Danielle Smith and the UCP have been closing those doors on too many Albertans. As we've heard, the massive tuition increases we've seen over the past 4 years have created some real hardship for students and their families. The Alberta NDP wants to ensure that education is available to all Albertans who seek it. That is why I am so pleased that our leader Rachel Notley, along with David Eggen, who has worked so tirelessly as the critic for advanced education, have committed that an Alberta NDP government will freeze tuition at 2022-2023 levels. This means that the tuition hike Danielle Smith is proposing will be reversed, and students like Jody won't have to worry about what another tuition increase will mean for their budget in the fall. But we're not done there. I would like to now pass things over to David Eggen.
Well, thanks, Jaelene. And I was so proud to announcement with our leader, Rachel Notley, last week. And I'm very excited that we can provide students in Red Deer a little peace of mind in knowing that they don't have to face more tuition hikes from Danielle Smith and the UCP. The Alberta New Democrats are committing to ensuring education is accessible right across this province. To ensure that, we will conduct an overall review of post-secondary funding and tuition. comprehensive, and students will have a big voice at the table. And students on knowing that with Rachel Notley as Premier, no tuition increase will ever exceed inflation. Alberta New Democrats want to invest in the future and invest in Albertans looking to build a better future for themselves and for their families. We want to make sure that Albertans can afford to advance their education and afford to finish as well. This is critical to our economic future. Students in our universities, college, trade schools, and polytechnics are highly workers of the future. They are the innovators and entrepreneurs and leaders of our future together. So let's ourselves and make sure that this talent and inspiration gets a chance to thrive. Thank you, and we are happy to take any questions you might have.
All right, thank you, David. Before we go to questions in person, just a reminder for those joining us on the phone to use the *9 function, and for those on Zoom to use the raise hand function to get into the question queue. We'll start with any questions in person.
Hi there, Josh Hall with RD News Now. Is against the tuition hikes that have occurred over the last 4 years, which, as you've stated, have been pretty high. Why not revert back to the level that tuition was when before the UCP were elected?
Well, we did see significant tuition increases from this UCP government, the highest increases in Canada, in fact. But we also saw the biggest operational cuts in the history of this province to polytechnics such as Red Deer, universities and trade schools, colleges right across the province. And so we need to make sure we are mitigating that and stabilize all of our institutions moving forwards. Let's not forget as well that we've had record inflation here in the province of Alberta over these last number of years. It's been quite extraordinary. So the operational cuts inflicted by the UCP plus extraordinary inflation need us to arrive at a target, which is the 22-23 rates, which we would roll back. There was significant increases even just this year, and students will not pay those.
Susan at the Red Deer Advocate.
Okay.
I'm wondering what you think about the operating money announced today by the UCP. I believe it was overall quite a lot, and then there was about 1.2 million for RDP. Is that enough?
Well, I mean, certainly creating new spaces. And if elected, will build the spaces we need for young Albertans school now, and building especially for healthcare. What if you have more spaces? Students can there. Without a tuition freeze immediately right now, a lot of these spaces can't afford to go to. So certainly we expanding spaces probably even more significantly, but we would also make those spaces affordable and accessible to all Albertans.
Thank you. Yeah. I think NDP stated last week, or this announcement, Public Interest Alberta had put out a kind of criticizing it enough, and they also, why doesn't Canada consider doing what post-secondary is that an NDP government would entertain?
Well, Alberta's New Democrats want to make sure everyone in this affordable polytechnics cities where they live, that is affordable. And so moving it on that path, I think is clear for us now. And if you don't make it affordable, quite frankly, you're losing people in that critical they will go to school and they're able to go to school. We've moved backwards over the last 4 years significantly with this UCP government, and we would like to reset and create a more positive future for post-secondary, affordable and accessible to all Albertans who want to go to school.
And we'll check with questions on the for those to use *9 and to use function. With no questions on the queue on the phone, we'll just check one more time in person. And no other questions, we'll wrap today. Thanks, folks.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.